Good morning. This is Marcia, aka Dragonfly, and I am here today to just give you some tidbits. As I'm on my self-care retreat, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. I've been talking to a lot of people, and I noticed that people are really struggling right now. We already did something on transitions. This is slightly different than transitions. This is more about learning to let go of your crushed dreams. I remember I'm divorced. For those that do not know, I'm divorced 13 years. I was with my ex-husband almost 10. We raised 5 children together. I had 3 with my husband. And I remember, and I actually married him twice, y'all, so. But I remember after the first divorce, and he had moved on. Might have been a year and a half after. Now, at that time, I didn't want to be with him. I didn't think we would be together. I didn't have a desire to be together. However, the emotion and the wish that is tied into our natural God-given need to be connected, you're going to be affected whether you realize it or not. I think what people don't realize is during a divorce that it is considered a death. There is a death that occurs, and anytime there is death, there is a grieving process. There is also stages to grieving. So the reason why I brought this situation up is because a year and a half has passed. You go on with your lives. And then when I remember my ex-husband getting that new girlfriend, I felt some type of way. I didn't want to be with him at the time, but I felt like, number one, why couldn't we work? And number two, if you were trying to get yourself together, why do it now for someone else? And number three, I think it was just the reality of what was gone. So here we go again, stages of grieving. And oftentimes we beat ourselves up to say, okay, you shouldn't be feeling this way, you shouldn't be going through this. But the reality is if you made a covenant with somebody for a lifetime, that wasn't supposed to change. I don't care if it was good, bad, or indifferent, right or wrong. That covenant was meant to last. So when you break that covenant, there's a lot that comes with it, especially if you've now been tied with kids and things like that. So back to my story, I remember feeling some type of way. I wanted to meet her because at this point, this woman has now been around my kids. And, I didn't know how long, but at the point where my kids were starting to mention her, then I felt like I did need to see who was going to be around my kids, especially myself, being a caregiver. And I had raised my other 2 sons that I did not birth. I just wanted to make sure that who my kids were in care with, was sound and decent, and that they knew who I was. So when I met her, she was beautiful, nice, and I'm very cordial with everybody. So, basically I cried my tears at home. But it was the reality to face that my idea of marriage, my idea of family, and even the family that I chose, whether it was a good choice or not, it still was what it was. So you feel what you feel. You have to allow yourself to feel that. You have to allow yourself to validate that. And then for myself, I have to go back to the Word of God, which is the validation of my source, so that truth can be applied. So it's not just a matter of feeling what you're feeling, validating what you're feeling. You must do those things to move on. But you also need positive, constructive things or truths so that you don't stay stuck in the transition, stuck in the past, stuck in what if. I even remember another situation where years later, after our second divorce, like we really were not reconciling after this, I remember going to pick up my kids, and everybody was at, my ex-mother-in-law's house. And they welcomed me. It wasn't even a bad thing. They truly, treated me like the family. It wasn't nothing like that. The other kid's mother was there, and we all got along at this point in the game. It took time, because it does take time. But everybody was doing good, and I'm going to be honest, I felt, oh my God, I felt so alienated. I felt like I was the outcast. I felt like this was not my family, and regardless of whether we were together or not, it's still a unit, and they did not even treat me any kind of way. It was something internally that I felt, and I had to acknowledge that, so I realized that where that pain was coming from was because I realized the wish and the idea of marriage and family had died at that point. So this was years after the divorce, years after, I might have even moved on at that point, or tried to move on. I'm not even sure, but I already gave you the story that he did at one point. So I'm just trying to get you guys to understand stages of grief, especially when it comes to relationships, careers, businesses, hardcore dreams that touch your soul, and they get shattered, but you don't have to stay stuck there. There's hope again. There's a chance again. And I know it's hard to not open up or allow yourself to do it, but I promise you, if you do, if you take that time to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your inner self and your higher power, take the time to learn what you want again, learn what you like again. And I know it can be frustrating. I know it can be lonely. I know it can be, listen, I've been single 13 years, so you're preaching to the choir. But I've come to such a comfortableness in myself and in my journey of life that although I still long for love, I feel like when it's time, it will come, but I wanted to be ready as well. So take the time to get ready yourself. As much as I thought I was a good wife, just because I did good wifely duties didn't make me a good wife. I was a young wife. I was a little naive. I had to deal with addictions and things that are not easy to deal with, especially in your early 20s. Being a mother young to multiple children, it was 5 total by the time we were said and done. So, a lot had been invested, and I had to relearn. I had given of myself. I was disappointed. I disappointed as well. It's never one-sided, so don't ever believe that. And I really just had to come to a place to learn, find, and redefine me. And then once you do that, there's a light that emanates from you. There is a energy that comes off, and it draws others. So if you're willing and open to love again, if you're willing and open to even try again, give yourself a shot. I know it's not easy. A gamble is never easy. But if you take the time and do the work and do the self-help work, or the change that is required, and many of us don't want to change, let's be real. But if you do, there is a chance to get happiness again. There is a chance to get a new dream again. Like, listen, that's a whole nother story. I had a whole different career. I was a forensic scientist. I'm in health and wellness now. I would have never thought I would be where I'm at now. And my crushed dreams, I had multiple crushed dreams in life, but I couldn't give up. I had to surrender to what my idea of what I thought things should be, and allow things to just be. Sometimes we won't even allow ourselves to be happy. We're so stuck in our ideas and ideals and what we want. We're fixated. I've done it. I get fixated on things, fixated on people, fixated on ideas, fixated because you can't tell me that this thing wasn't supposed to work. But the reality is, it's just not life. But you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay that there is a chance again to get what it is that you desire, and actually get it the way that it should have been from the beginning. Because many times we didn't make the right choices. We didn't choose from the right motives. We didn't choose from the right needs. We didn't know how to assess future needs. We didn't know how to ask the right questions, especially if we didn't have a certain guide of parents or marriage or idea. You know, this road is not easy. This life is not easy. However, it can be very fulfilling. And there's going to be disappointments. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be crushed dreams. So what are you going to do when your dream can no longer be materialized? Are you going to trust love one more time, to give it a chance, to give yourself a chance? And it doesn't have to be love. It could be for anything. Don't give up on a dream. Don't give up on a vision. You know, it might have to be tweaked a little bit. It might have to look a little different than what you thought, but it doesn't mean that it can't be materialized and actualized and benefit you and others for the future. So I just wanted to give you some tidbits, just tell you where I've been, you know, some situations in my own life that I had to heal and come through, and just bare my heart to let you know that you can get through this. You will get through this. And I want you to have a blessed day on purpose. Don't give up on love. Take care.